That's like still embarrassing to me. I'm like 23 and I'm like, oh God, poor small sweet Chloe. Hey guys, I am Dove Cameron, here to answer 17 questions with 17. My most embarrassing story, I've told this one a million times because it is like the pinnacle of embarrassment. I'm so happy it happened to me because it taught me humility at a young age and how to laugh at myself truly, but I was doing a musical in my like super small town. I was in the background and there's like a portion of the musical where everybody like freezes and the spotlight goes on the lead, who was not me. And she like sings in a moment, like time is standing still and everything is in blackness, but you can still like see people. And we had done the show so much that, I don't know if you've ever done something a million times, you just like kind of forget that you're doing it. And there was a reviewer there that night, which is funny because like, you know, why would my super tiny small town have a reviewer? I don't know. But we did, and he was like our one big person. He was like, oh my God, he's coming, he's coming. It was like the biggest deal. We were all thinking about it all day long. Makes me laugh. One of my best friends was in the show with me and she was backstage and she started like crumping when we were all supposed to be frozen out of habit. I don't know, it was like she like enticed me to crump on stage when everybody else was standing completely still. And I really went for it, I went all out. And I got an honorable mention in the local paper. It's not anywhere, you can't find it, I've tried. I'm one of those horribly disgusting people that is so obsessed with my boyfriend that I'm like, nobody but him. Like, I hate myself for it. But he counts, he's a celebrity, he's my celebrity crush. If I had to say someone who wasn't him, I would have to say a girl. And it would probably be Sofia Vergara or like Stella Maxwell. And I have a very long list, so watch out. First date wasn't really a date, but it was the first time I went out with Thomas. There were a bunch of people there, so it totally doesn't count as a date, but he challenged me to like a stare off because I wasn't paying attention to him because I just thought he was like, you know, kind of a playboy. Like I was like, he's way too mischievous and charismatic and good looking to be like, this sounds awful, but like to be like good to me, you know? Like I never saw it ending well. I was like, I'm gonna steer clear of you and avoid like the biggest mistake of my life. And he tried to get me to pay attention to him by challenging me to a stare off. Not about who could blink first, but about like who would look away first, like who could withstand the eye contact. And we both went through like a range of emotions together. Like we'd be really happy and then like really sad, and then we both start laughing at the same time, and then we both started crying. And he said to me, I'll like never forget it. We had like barely met, and he was like, I think I just fell in love with you. Like something out of a 90s like Tom Hanks rom-com. And I was like, shut up. I think I literally laughed at him. I was like, haha, shut up, you're so stupid. I already hate you. And he was like, no, I'm serious. I'm falling in love with you right now. So he said it first. The first one that comes to mind is, who is that girl I see? I don't know if that's like my definitive answer, but that's the one I'd go with tonight if I was doing karaoke with you. I made one of them left-handed and one of them right-handed. So many things. It's funny because when I was younger, I just had a crush on everyone. Like I just fell in love every day. A story of like sheer embarrassment that I still recall. I was in love with this boy, Dane Wiesner, who gets an honorable mention in so many of my interviews. I've not seen this kid in like 10 years. But he was beautiful and really like chill and kind of like dark and like for like a 10-year-old, you know. And I think I was 9 and I was really into sewing at the time. Like I was making everything. I was making like bags and skirts and dresses. I thought I wanted to go to fashion school. and I was in all these sewing classes, and I really wanted to give him a gift because I just like loved him and I wanted to give him something. I was like, what do boys like? And he's like a 10-year-old kid, and I was like, well, I can't really make him any clothes yet. I don't know how to make boys' clothes. I'll make him a tool kit because men love tools. And so I sewed him a tool kit from just my mind creation, and I gave it to him on, I think like on the playground, and I like wrote him a note, and I was like, meet me on the like Foursquare area, like if you love me. And he showed up, and I was like, oh my God, it's a love story. We're in love. This is it forever. And he was like, thank you for, what is it? And I was like, it's a toolkit. And he's like, I love it. I'll use it all the time. And then like, I didn't know what to say to him. And so he was like, well, this is really awkward. I don't like you anymore. And then he was like, I'm gonna go play Foursquare with Julia Chiato. And it wrecked me and it broke my heart. That's like still embarrassing to me. I'm like 23 and I'm like, oh God, poor small, sweet Chloe. Being alive. Being alive. I also really love A New Life from Jekyll and Hyde, Lucy's Ballad. I sung that at somebody's wedding, I think, when I was like 9. But I also really love, oh God. Although am I Don Quixote, the man of La Mancha. You have to look that up. Look up Linda Eder doing that song, but it's phenomenal. It'll blow your mind. I want to see Phil of the Future rebooted because it was my favorite. I mean, I probably have said a million different things. I think Wizards was my favorite at one point. That's So Raven was my favorite at one point. But like Phil of the Future has this weird special place in my heart because I had such a crush on Ricky Ullman. But the whole concept was phenomenal. Like I remember an episode where he like made food, or like he like squeezed a burger out of like a tube or something, and it like puffed up, and I was like, that's the kind of future I want to live in. I don't know if she considers herself a YouTuber or an influencer, but in terms of beauty, I would say Blair St. Clair off of RuPaul's Drag Race. Girl, you are so beautiful and so talented, and I want you to adopt me. That's my answer. That came to me really quick. That's how you know it's real. That's a difficult question because I love Mother Gothel so much. I think I'd love to be Dove Gothel. So what a great name. But I don't know if I'd like actually want to be her daughter, if that makes any sense. I mean, they're all pretty like negligent parents. Probably Mother Gothel. Maybe, I mean, I don't know if Hades counts because he's like a Greek god. You know, I was always kind of like, does he count as a Disney villain? Because he's so like precedes Disney. I don't know, they're all great. They're all amazing. I was always a fan of the villains. Performing in Hairspray Live was the most exhilarating thing I've ever done in my life because you prepare for 3 months and there's no safety net because it's unlike stage where you can't really mess up on stage, but at least you know there's a bunch of performances ahead of it to get it right. So if you mess up, it's only those people in that room that night that see it, and then you have a million chances after to get it right. And then when you're on TV or film, if you mess up, they just call cut, you try it again. You know that whatever millions of people see will be perfection, hopefully. With Hairspray Live, not only is it on camera, but they can't edit it. You have one chance to get it right. It is being seen by millions of people, if not tens of millions, and then it lives forever immortalized on DVD. And I was thinking this, right? Like my anxious brain before I went on, I was like panicking myself into a black pit. I think because of that, you just kind of have to like surrender and be like, go for it. And you do, and it's like the most fun. And I blacked out, I don't remember it, so thank God I can watch it. And then on stage, it's, you know, it's also exhilarating, and you have this like amazing relationship with the audience. That's what's fun, is you can kind of like develop a rapport because no two audiences are the same. So like in Clueless, it was like one night the audience was like really not my friend, and like we weren't on the same wavelength. And then like the next night it would be like everyone was your friend, and you develop, like you kind of change your sense of comedy and timing to fit what they're responding to. It's like this amazing give and take, so. It was just an entirely new learning curve for me. Like 8 shows a week is difficult enough, but then doing it in New York in the winter time, you can lose your voice so quickly just going out into the cold and like breathing air. you can like never eat enough food because the cardio of that is like just running a Broadway show, like constantly going up and down stairs, because even when you're not on stage, the reason you're off stage is because you're doing a costume change in like under 2 seconds, and you know, it's like a sport. It's like you become an athlete on this Broadway schedule. I'm a crossbreed between Cher and Ty because I don't think I'm not like that blissful unawareness that Cher has, where she's like she believes the world to be a certain way that's very like structured and very like simple. I think that's something really beautiful about Cher that I don't have. I do think I'm very optimistic and I'm very romantic. Like I'd like to romanticize things a lot. I definitely think I'm a bit more internal like Ty and maybe a bit more second guessy like Ty, but hopeful. Costume I've loved is my main Descendants 3 costume, my like hero outfit. It's my favorite thing I've ever worn. I feel like I'm in Tron. I feel like I'm Olivia Wilde in Tron, which is who I've always wanted to be and who I see myself as in my wildest dreams. So that's my favorite. I feel like a video game character. I think I was most excited for Hairspray Live because that was something I truly had to earn. Like, you know, there have been some things in the past where it was sort of like I did it because it made sense. Like, I also didn't know how big Descendants was gonna be. I didn't know what it was gonna be. And so when I booked it, I was majorly excited, but I also didn't know what it was gonna be. Like, it's a tie between Descendants and Hairspray Live. Because I knew everybody that was in Hairspray Live and they were all my idols. And so when I got it, it was so unlikely that I was gonna get it, and I had to like go to dance auditions and like do the whole thing. And so then when I went to Jerry Mitchell's studio in Hollywood, had me do like a couple of routines, and I'm like not the strongest dancer. And he was like, I need to sign off on her. And then after like 20 minutes, he went, great, see you at the table, Reed. And I was like, ugh. And I think I walked out and I cried. So happy. Maleficent is truly unnerving. She's like, something's wrong with her. Like, I feel like there are the other villains that are kind of like charming, off kilter, or a bit like wacky, whereas Maleficent is like not a human. You know, like she's like a reptile. So I feel like she's probably my favorite because it's just like the animators and that old-fashioned kind of Disney sense was so dark. Either her or Mother Gothel. Secret talents. I can do the wave with my eyebrows. But I think that was in the Liv and Maddie theme song, so I think that's not secret. I can turn my hand all the way around, like on a flat surface, like something out of The Grudge. I actually have really good rhythm, like I can rap really well. Don't ask me to do it because it's embarrassing, but I can. My shot percentage with basketball, super high. Thank you guys so much for watching.